So I'm Bethany Martinez. I'm a South Florida real estate broker associate. I've been practicing and licensed since 2012, practicing pretty much the whole entire time. I focus on South Florida. I live in Miami-Dade County, but I did grow up in Broward County, and I focus on those two counties, specific areas within the counties. I'm a leader of the Bemar Team. I created that about 2 years ago. We have 7 agents on board right now, 3 of which are in Broward County. The rest are in Miami-Dade, including myself. So we're able to cover a good amount of territory because we all live in certain areas, like either way down south or closer to the beach. I've been involved with the board for the last 5 years. This year, I am president of the Miami YPN Leadership Council. This is my presidential year. I'm very excited. And I've also served on the board and just been involved with the association, probably let's say 7 years. For the most of my real estate career, I've been involved in the board. So that's what I do. I practice residential. I do some investments, some multifamily, and yeah, that's a little bit about myself. Basically, the pandemic created a lot of opportunity for people to work remotely, right? I think that's what we've all encountered. I know so many companies that their sales team has actually done so much better being that they're working at home. So now that people have that opportunity to work remotely, I think they're really considering where they want to spend most of their time. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people come down here and saying, I can live in South Florida for 6 months out of the year, 3 months out of the year, because I can work from anywhere. So that's why people are starting to ask those questions about really coming down here for second home purposes, and then looking at the type of property that they can buy, and they can also rent it out part of the time. So yeah, the pandemic created a lot of opportunity for second home vacation rentals. And I think when we were on lockdown and when the gyms were still closed and restaurants were still closed, it's like hotels were closed. People were looking to these vacation home rentals to just get away and enjoy themselves. So you come to South Florida and we barely have any vacation properties left. They're all booked out. So people are seeing that they're, investors and people who own these properties are making so much money, and they're thinking, well, if I'm going to buy a property, let me buy a property in that area and do the same thing. So the pandemic definitely, increased all these questions now of what it's like to have a home here and be able to rent it out as a vacation rental. Statistically, South Florida sells itself, because when you look at the numbers and when you look at how many people are moving here daily, how many large tech firms are opening up businesses here, when you look at just the raw numbers, it's like, I don't have to sell anybody. But if I want to, I can just sell them on the lifestyle and what living in a place where there's always amazing weather can actually do for just your mood. I think a lot of people who were in New York and cooped up for all that time and couldn't leave, and then when they did leave, it was gloomy and rainy. I mean, if you want to even take it down to mental health, being able to get out and being in the sun and being in a place where, you see people outside and doing activities, I think it just creates an overall healthier lifestyle for you. So I do think that it's not really a hard sale, when we're selling. It's just really educating people on what their money can get for them down here, and then seeing if with that money, if this lifestyle works for them. South Florida is very, very large. There's Miami-Dade County, there's Broward County, there's West Palm, there's so many parts to it. There's suburbs, there's city. So it's really just saying with the money that you want and the lifestyle you want to live, where can I position you in South Florida, and how will that affect your lifestyle? Is it going to take you, 10 levels up from where you are now, or maybe not? So it's really analyzing those things. But when it comes from an investment standpoint, it's an easy sale. I'm not shoving South Florida down anybody's throat. If anything, they're kind of looking for different ways to get here faster. So I feel like if you're not from the South Florida market and you want to be able to sell your clients a vacation home rental, partnering up with someone like myself, it can definitely help you. So I've worked on building relationships with outside agents and just providing them with the statistics and the information that our association provides. They're able to use that information and bring that information to their clients, anybody who's interested in possibly relocating or purchase a second home. And with that information, they're able to basically educate educate them, and then sell them on South Florida. So I feel like for any other agent out there that's outside of our market, if you have a market that you want to tap into and you want to do second home and vacation rentals, look at who's active in the market, look at who's active in their association, and see what kind of information they can provide to you. You know, stats and numbers is always something really good, marketing material. And if you kind of market that in your own market, wherever you are, you can definitely work and do a lot of referral business. You know, right now I'm working out a marketing plan where through our stats that we have, I'm going to be marketing to different markets, digital, social media, and just kind of offering them free information on what it would take to buy a second home here or an investment property, right? And with that, I'm just providing them the information. And then if that point in time they have a client that wants to purchase, all they have to do is reach out to me and make the connection, and we both win. You get to keep your client, you also get a referral fee, and you get to work with someone who's extremely knowledgeable. So for people who need to tap into that, it's really just knowing your market. You know, knowing what your market and your returns are in your market, where you can position someone with their price point, right? Because it's all based on price point, right? If someone's coming to me with a specific price point, I'm going to tell them, well, I know a few areas where you can make that price point happen and still get a lot of bang for your buck. So if you're not in that market, I would just say team up with someone who knows that market, who's doing that type of business, and get as much information as you can and work together on a campaign where you guys can both bring clients from other markets in and purchase these second homes. And a lot of people just want to know, you know, a lot about investment properties, and second homes are, you know, numbers, right? Numbers based, like what are you getting for your money? What kind of returns are you getting? Then it's also lifestyle. Look into the lifestyle, what's happening in these areas. How can this benefit? You know, everybody knows about Airbnb, and there's also a website called AirDNA. Whenever investors are looking for second homes, investment properties, rental properties, short term, they go to AirDNA, and AirDNA is giving you all kinds of information. It's telling you who's doing short term in that area, what they're getting for their money, and it kind of breaks it down for the second home short-term rental market. So there's just so many different tools like that you can use to really educate yourself so that you can start selling people second homes and vacation rentals. After, you know, a consultation on asking them, like, what do they expect? Like, at what point in time do they want to use this home? Do they want to have it available to them all throughout the year? Are they going to have specific times throughout the year where they want to use it? And just really seeing what their expectations are. And then based on that, looking to see if it's a single family home or maybe a short-term condo that'll work for them. And then kind of just going through the different areas. You know, a lot of people that don't know anything about South Florida just want to know, like, what can I do in certain areas? What areas are good for kids? What areas are good for families? What areas are good for just being single and wanting to have fun? So once you kind of have all those conversations with them, if you know the market, you can kind of guide them and say, well, it all starts on price point. We're looking in price point, we can look in these three areas. So I really think it's just understanding the needs of the client, understanding what they want and what their expectations are, and then you doing the best that you can to deliver. The past condo sales that I've had have all been clients who are purchasing a second home. Not all of them wanted to do it as a vacation rental. They just want to have it here for whenever they want to come, if they have family come. So really, we weren't limited to just a building that allowed only short-term rentals, because when you narrow it down to that, there really isn't that many options compared to what's out there. You don't want to limit the options, but you do want to see what's better for them. If they just want to hold it and rent it out for the year, you know, you got to look at those numbers and see what area works best for them. But yeah, really it's as simple as just understanding the needs of your client and finding out what their expectations are, and then kind of guiding them through there. For agents out there, for people in their markets, I think it's always just good to be on the forefront of opportunity. A part of my business is fixing and flipping and just selling those properties. And the funny thing is that there was a few properties that just were not selling for the price that we want, right? And that one of those properties ended up turning into an Airbnb property and now is generating so much income. So it's just always looking at the opportunity and things and being able to create opportunity even when there is none. You know, so just keeping an open mind and thinking how you can diversify is always so important when thinking about residual income, such as rental property and vacation homes.